New. BioStar is independently owned and operated with 24/7 emergency service and discounts to veterans. Call BioStar at 844-424-6782 or online at restorationbiostar.com. Criminal charges ahead for two men accusing a Burton police officer of theft during a traffic stop last month. They're being charged with false report of a felony. Body cam footage from the accused officer is said to have shown no such theft taking place. An elderly Bay City man recovering from serious injuries suffered in a house fire on Monday afternoon. According to MLive, firefighters managed to get that 74-year-old man out of the house along the 600 block of East White Street. He was rushed to the hospital, and the cause of that fire remains under investigation. A federal judge temporarily blocking the Trump administration's efforts to ban transgender people from serving in the military. U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes ruling that restrictions due to take effect this month were a violation of transgender folks' constitutional rights. The Federal Reserve expected to announce the latest direction of interest rates this afternoon. They are expected to remain unchanged. The Red Wings still 3 points out of a final wild card playoff spot in the NHL as they lost again last night, 4-1 to the Washington Capitals in Washington. Flint Firebirds at home last night at the Dordt Financial Center were beaten by the Guelph Storm 2-1. March Madness underway with the first four matchups as last night's winners were North Carolina and Alabama State. Tonight, Mount St. Mary's faces American University. Xavier takes on Texas. Pistons will be in Miami tonight to face the Heat, and down in Florida, the Tigers beat the Twins 6-5. And to cap this one off, coming up today, State Police and Emergency Management Homeland Security here in Michigan holding a voluntary tornado drill. It'll be at 1 p.m., so don't be surprised if you hear your tornado siren sounding a test at that time. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Today's forecast calling for sunshine much of the day, mixed with periods of overcast before a little rain could roll in early this evening, with temperatures around 69, perhaps touching 70, with the winds out of the south at 9 to 15 that'll gust to about 26 miles an hour. The rain expected to take hold in the area tonight as temperatures slide down quite a bit, settling in at around 38 overnight as those winds pick up. Spring arrives tomorrow morning with rain likely in the morning that turns into snow during the midday, while temperatures fall only to around 33 degrees by early afternoon. Friday, we pick up a bit. Lots of sun and 52. Right now, it's 58 in Flint and in Saginaw, 51.
Well, they're totaling up your winter, and it was a really odd pattern this year, by the way. It's not really over yet for the UP, but still.
Yeah, I know.
There is one location in the Lower Peninsula, though, that had over 228 inches this winter.
Are you going to tell us where?
Coming up on 103.9 The Fox.
Yeah, we did have some snow here in Michigan as we're saying so long to winter today. Final full day of it. About 22 hours from now, we will be in the spring. We are counting down those final hours now, starting now. We're going to be less than 22 hours away from spring arriving here in the Eastern time zone. Welcome to all, and that includes on Twitch, TCB. Long Island, New York has joined us. Good morning, TCB. For those who are on YouTube or Facebook, don't see those comments. Also have Chris here, who's trying to breathe again after the major dust storm that we understand hit New Mexico yesterday. Chris here, and also is Tina. Both of them on new YouTube this morning from New Mexico and New Jersey. Also, Eric is here. Good morning, Eric from California. From the township, there is Linda also on YouTube today. So welcome to all of you who are joining us for the start of Wednesday, Hump Day, and it is the 19th of March. The winter season is going to leave us, but you know, the funny thing is, we've got a springish day today, much more springish than tomorrow is going to be when it actually is spring early on in the morning. Our show is going to actually get a chance to kind of usher spring in, 5:01 a.m. Eastern time in daylight savings time terminology here. Like and subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube so we can grow the group here. We're also going to get a chance today, kind of a treat, about 7:30 Eastern time. We're going to get a chance to see some visiting animals from the Genesee County Animal Control. A couple of the volunteers who are usually in once a month are going to be here to do that very thing. Also have John, that's Fitzy. Fitzy here, good morning from Saginaw on YouTube. It is Fitzy joining us. kind of the senior member of the band right here. Linda did not sleep well. Hendricks thought she should be up, so he scratched her to be sure. She got out of bed, stepped in cat barf, knocked the light off of the bedside table, and that's just the start of the day. Wow. Okay, well, low expectations start to the day. You know, we have the low expectations Monday. That's the low expectation start. So at this point, it looks like anything that happens from this point forward is going to be a step up. Onward and upward, forward, positive looking now. Sheila's here. Good morning to Bay City, where the sun will be shining today. And in fact, did yesterday and will again today for a while. And then, as I mentioned, today, wintry day in terms of the final hours of the season, but the weather is not going to look at all like that. And then tomorrow, we flip-flop. When spring arrives, winter weather does.
Southbound I-75 at Miller Road is a mess. They've got a whole bunch of cars piled up there. Be very careful in that area. I don't know what stage of cleanup they're in right now, but we do know about that. It's been about, half hour old
I think so, yeah.
All these years, and you, too, still hasn't found what they're looking for.
Keep looking, Bono.
Get those guys some glasses.
So what else is going on today is the fact that in downtown Flint, on top of the building, Citizens Bank building, the weather ball is shining red, which is always optimistic for those who want some warmer weather. We've got that coming today. And even at this early hour, Linda would like a do-over. How much dust, Chris, did you guys get in New Mexico? The reports that we got here were that it was about as thick a dust storm in the state, at least in some parts, as it's ever been. And you had said something about that to be in the forecast yesterday, and it happened. We don't deal with dust storms so much here, but we have those whiteout snowfalls, which look like they're in the rearview mirror now. Although Johnny's going to talk about, in a couple minutes, one part of our state that had as much as 228 inches worth of total snowfall this winter. I'm looking around. Yesterday when we were up in Birch Run, I noticed just a couple of small spots where there is still a little bit of piled up snow. That used to be huge 9-10 feet of snow piles after they gotten plowed up over to that area after the heavy snowfall. Now it's all melting away, and maybe by later today it'll be gone because it's supposed to hit about 70 Fahrenheit. And so that's it. Everything else is gone. All the track is back for us. All of the sidewalk is back. We don't have any more of the snow that Jacko found so much trouble trying to walk around in this past winter for his bathroom breaks. It was just brutal. Allergy season is also kicked in New Mexico, we find out, too. Kim is Ohio Kim here, that is. Do I like the pictures set of the cat? I not only liked them, we showed them last Friday. I don't think that you were here last Friday, but we were showing them, all three of them. And they all got those, aww. I think we're going to see some cats showing up in the studio also, because Johnny had talked about that possibility. Genesee County Animal Control is going to have a couple of his volunteers. The two ladies who normally stop in once a month are going to be here about 7:30, so we'll take you down the studio and let you see what it looks like there in the studio for those who are adoptable. Because we've heard in recent weeks that Genesee County Animal Control is overrun. They've pretty much reached capacity over there, so they are looking really hard to try to get these cats homed. So people are going to be looking at... See, Linda's already given the thumbs up, Kim, to the fact, because we did see them last Friday, and including the one, you have the one that's, I think, 11. Pump that out of there. Not here Friday. Well, we did show them. Maybe we'll get to them again. I have another one I was going to show you guys in a little bit when we get a little bit of time to do that. I'll tell you what, let me show you this right now. Well, we got the time to do the Smile Source. We've got one from Burnham, Pennsylvania, by the name of Promise. This is a Yorkshire Terrier, a Yorkie named Promise. She is highlighted today on the 365 Dogs calendar from Burnham, Pennsylvania. That is Promise. There you go. And now, here's Johnny with Steph.
What they're looking for, I know.
They've been doing this for 40 years. For crying out loud. You two there on the Foxhole Morning Show. All right, snowfall so far this winter. They're tallying this up already. Toro Grosso didn't have anything else to write about it at live apparently. So. But it's been a crazy year. An area over northwest lower Michigan and the eastern UP pacing well ahead of average amounts of snowfall. But we are not here in Flint. We're below average.
Yeah, we have been for a few years, haven't we?
Yeah, well, that was obvious the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But this year you would think, well, no, we weren't. Are we below? Yeah, we are. We're still below average here. Flint is about 9 inches below average. We've had 38 inches in all this year. So that's not really what we're used to. That said, the last couple of years we haven't had any.
I know.
Pretty crazy. The other side of the story is the heavy snowfall compared to normal from Traverse City to Gaylord and Mansalona. Jim Bailey, who is apparently a weather observer, they call him a cooperative weather observer for the National Weather Service. I have no idea. You get paid for that? We all talk about the weather every day. We don't get paid for it.
I know. Where's my check?
This guy's getting money for it? How did we miss out on this? Anyway, he has diligently measured heavy snow all winter long, and so far this winter he has tallied 228 inches of snow in Mansalona.
Oof.
Measured in, as he said, the most that he's ever measured in 13 years being a weather observer.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, 228 inches, I didn't do the math on that, but that's a hell of a lot of snow. But to give you an idea, most of the places are still below normal. Marquette is like 22 inches below normal.
Which is a big deal up there.
But they're going to get a bunch today and tomorrow.
They are.
She's taking a quick break from her audience to chat with us a bit on Facebook. You don't see her comments if you're on YouTube or Twitch, but it's Royal Rachel. Good morning, Royal Rachel.
Gaylord this winter, it seems like.
Yeah.
They've gotten their fair share. Did they give an inch total there?
Let me see here. Gaylord is not on my list here. You would think it would be. No, it's not. It's not here. But they did say that area was above normal earlier. The whole Traverse City, Mansalona, Gaylord area, that whole corner is over average.
You know what? They can keep it.
Well, they like it up there. You remember Boyd's up there.
Yes.
They love this.
Yeah, and for the UP, it's all about the snowmobilers.
You got that right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's 7:12 right now.
Take a break from the workday with the Rock Recess.
All right, we'll get to traffic just a second here. We've had one rather significant tie-up because of a multi-vehicle crash. That on a rather vital freeway stretch here in our area, and it continues to be a bit of a problem. So we'll get to that in a minute here. Yeah, we are in that crossover pattern over the next maybe week or so, although our weather friend Mark Torregrossa was writing in his MLive column that we're probably not going to have much. We're going to have a cool down. We've had 60 plus yesterday. We'll have it again, almost 70 today, maybe 70 in some areas. And then it's going to sharply cool down for several days, but not much more than just a few days. And then we'll be back into, and looks like spring will then take hold. The full season will take hold for us. And Jacko can spend even more time outside looking for treats in the grass because we're starting to get him acclimated to that new game called Find the Treats in the Grass. That keeps him busy for quite a while.
We provide a level of care and attention your business deserves. Don't let cleanliness be an afterthought this season. Call Clearview at 810-736-8040 to schedule a consultation and experience the difference a strategic cleaning partner can make. In business, just like in basketball, success starts with a strong foundation. Transform your home in 1 week.
Okay, we're finding out that Tina was
Get a paint that combines durability and gorgeous color. Dutch Boys Forever.
dizzy already, nipping it in the bud today. So you already went through a dizzy episode, but you have nipped it in the bud.
Refresh your home
That's good to know.
with Dutch Boy paint. Get a gallon on sale now through March 23rd. View our entire selection of Dutch Boy paint on Menards.com. Plus the weekly flyer and other great deals happening now. Save big money at Menards. Lori Cranmore and Tiffany Hensey are your local licensed
All right, let's see here.
with Health Markets Insurance Agency, 5150 West Pearson Road in Flint. Choosing the right Medicare plan can be confusing. Let them help you find a plan that best fits your needs and your budget. Call 810-820-8138 for a free consultation virtually by phone or in person to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Call 810-820-8138.
Eric's talking about Rob Suka not being here from Finland right now. We also don't have Mel here from Australia right now either. And were she here in the United States, she'd find out that we treat the Australians very nicely when they come to visit us here in the U.S. I will tell you why that is and how that is in a moment. If you are from Australia and you want to come to visit us in the United States, we might even pay you to do it. We got enough money, right?
Subject to approval. Rates, terms, and conditions may vary based on creditworthiness. Restrictions apply. See credit union for details.
Traffic. 3.9 The Fox.
Vehicle City traffic.
Still a slowdown on southbound 75 because of a multi-vehicle crash earlier around Miller Road, I-69 area. So be patient if you're heading in that area. And also in Richfield Township, we have a serious crash involving injury just in on the northeast corner of Irish Road at Potter Road. So another area to keep mindful of. And if you spot other problems out there, you're always invited to tell us about them. 810-230-WRSR is that number to do it. The line always open for you at 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
Another thing about these snow totals this year, Sault Ste. Marie got 184 inches, so that's still like, 40 inches less than Barcelona got.
Yeah.
Barcelona got.
Yes.
And that's 77 inches above normal for Sault Ste. Marie.
Huh.
So they got nailed, but it's still not nearly enough for bragging rights.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, huh? Been a good year for snow up north, and boy, I bet they're happy about that.
Yeah, because last year was not.
A lot of these businesses were hanging on bankruptcy.
Yeah, they're making payments now, though. That's good.
Yeah, really. All right, Pink Floyd for you now. 103.9 The Fox.
Boss Lady's here. What's money? What's money? Here's the question for you. Okay, since you tossed that question up into the air there, what's money? You got to have one, money or your health. Which do you take? But if you can only have one, which do you take? Money or your health? Word of the day from Linda is going to be Sault Ste. Marie, and she's using the American version of the spelling on that one, because in Canada they spell the Sioux like it sounds, S-O-O. Rob Suka's here by popular demand from 6 degree Finland. 6 degrees of Finland are here. That would be 43 degrees. I don't know, I should have remembered that, because it seems to me you told us that also yesterday. So there you have it. For Eric, he'd rather have the money than the health, if it's a choice. So now, and Zelensky is in Finland right now, he is. You know, if we had anybody from Australia here, this is how we treat them. We had somebody, gentleman, visiting the state of North Carolina here in the United States. While he was here in our country, he decided to play the Cash 5 lottery ticket that was being sold at a store in North Carolina. And so Gregory Combs of Grafton, New South Wales, while he was visiting, bought this $1 Quick Pick Cash 5 ticket for the February 4th Cash 5 drawing, and he matched all 5 of the numbers, so he wins a jackpot of $186,000. The odds on doing what he did, which was matching all 5 numbers in that drawing, are 1 in 962,000. But he did it, so he wins $186,000 here in the United States while visiting from Australia. Tell that to Mel when she shows up again, or Mr. Mel if he does, because sometimes he's in when she's not, surprising everybody. Let me very quickly have him, while I have a moment to do it, make sure that we're able to focus in on the studio, because when we get to about 7:30, they're planning on having a four-legged guest or more in the studio with them from Genesee County Animal Control, and we want to make sure that you can see who they have. Like and subscribe if you are on YouTube. Welcome to a show behind the scenes of a live morning radio show on 103.9 The Fox in Flint, Michigan, USA, the home of the formerly crappy water. And the home of a rather strange group of people who'd show up here every day called the Hal Raisers. And they're here right now waiting for us to show them an animal or more. Let's see, I think this is the one that I wanted right here. Yeah, this is the one I wanted right here. Yep. This is the one I wanted right here. Where is the sound? Right there. Kill that. Keep that up. Come on, get up there. Expand it up. There we go. Now we got it. Let's see, we got a baseball game on today also. Once again, the continuation of this Japanese series going on. The Dodgers and the Cubs are playing today again with all of their headliner Japanese players from the major leagues involved in that game. Dodgers have this hot stuff pitcher named Sasaki, who I think is 23 years old. He's signed this incredibly large contract to pitch for the Dodgers this year. Okay, let's see. We've got them ready to go. So as soon as we get to the animal, I think it's going to be a cat or more today in the studio with them. I wonder if that cat, if they have it, a microchip, because that turned out to be the game changer again in the story of another animal. And in this case, it was a cat I want to tell you about here in a couple of minutes also. And there was also something I was going to talk to you about. I mentioned this yesterday on Instagram when we were over there. But I'll mention it again because you might not have heard. But I want to talk about something that if you don't want to, this could turn your stomach a little bit if I talk about it. So if it's one of those things that you might be a little bit queasy about, I will warn you in advance that you don't necessarily have to listen. When I start talking about it, you can take about a 5-minute break from being here and leave and then come back when I'm done talking about it. But it's just kind of a wild story that came up in Australia again. When these people from Australia come to the United States, we treat you well. We even sometimes pay you. In Australia, here's another way to look for money. According to the American Heritage Dictionary, via DuckDuckGo, Sioux is a waterfall or a rapids in a river. Sixth thing you should know. All right. Because they do it. I mean, up in the Sault Ste. Marie, which is right where the United States, a.k.a. Michigan, at least portion of it, meets Canada, we have the situation where the Sault Ste. Marie label that is to the United States side of the falls there is spelled S-A-U-L-T. But if you go up to Canada, they like to spell it S-O-O. And we have a hockey team that comes from there that plays in the same league as the Flint Firebirds and the Saginaw Spirit in the Ontario Hockey League are playing in. The Sioux Greyhounds, and they're always spelled S-O-O. Yeah, the Dodgers game is going on. You know what's odd about that, too? I took a quick peek into that to see how it was going. In fact, I could do it again now while we have a minute here, Rapsuka. But what's confusing is that the Dodgers are wearing their home white uniforms. The Cubs are wearing their road gray uniforms. Yet the Cubs are the home team today. And right now, the Dodgers are leading 5-2 in the fourth inning. And I see that their starting pitcher, the Dodgers starting pitcher Sasaki, who was one of those who was going to be spotlighted today, he's the guy I was talking about a minute ago. He is not in the game any longer, so he must not have lasted more than 3 or 4 innings in that game. This is the first chance I've had to look in on it, and it's already midway through the game. Swing Dog is here now. Good morning, Massachusetts. What's happening over there? All right. Get out of that one. And say the weather ball is flashing red today in downtown Flint. It flashes the appropriate color to the weather forecast for the day, and today it's going to be a warm one. Springish all the way, even though today's winter. Tomorrow morning at this time, it will be spring, and we'll probably be watching it snow. It's just, that's how Michigan is, you know? I'm telling you, 46 over there going to be today for a high. All right. Linda had assumed that Sue was French or at least French-Canadian. Might be. That's right, Ropsuka. We're less than 22 hours away from spring being here. Less than 22 hours away. Everybody's all excited about it. We've been counting it down since there were like 90 days until spring. And we're ready to go. Ready to go. Back to the 80s in Bama. Was 79-80 again yesterday. It was in Alabama, and it will be again today. Back to Johnny and Steph, and perhaps by now we're going to have our guests in soon.
Hey, this is Tyler from Fenton, and 103.9 The Fox is the best.
The Fox. All right, stand by. Good-looking dog ahead.
Oh, a dog.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Genesee County Animal Control about kitten season and the dogs and everything that they have available for you right now, and how you can help. All coming up on 103.9 The Fox.
Well, okay, we're going to have a dog in the studio, so that's cool. Get a chance to watch, and hopefully, and Johnny usually knows to put it on camera and set it up so that y'all can see it. That will be nice. It appears like it's going to be 81 in Ohio today, reports Kim from the scene, southeastern Ohio. 81 today. Be out at the beach. They've got the confluence of 3 rivers over there that you'd be able to use as a nice place to sit and have a picnic or something. How's it going? Asks Rachel on Facebook. Royal Rachel, it's going swimmingly right now. For the final day of winter, it's looking all kinds of springish. I was just, before we started our live stream, I went out and walked around the area for just a couple minutes just to kind of get a little fresh air and take in the fact that it is pushing 60 degrees even at this hour of the morning. Tomorrow, it's going to be in the 30s. How about that? When it is technically spring, it's going to be feeling like today should. But hey, again, as I said, it looks like our local meteorologist, Mark Torregrossa, is saying that we're going to get a slowdown in the warmth. We're going to have a cold spell here, but only for a few days. It's not going to last long. And then we'll be taking a full dive into the spring season and staying there, it appears. But here's what we had going on in Ontario, where we have people that hang out with us like DPR and like Canada Dan, those people. There's a woman who was just reunited with her beloved pet cat 7 years and 4 months after he went missing. And you all know why. The cat had a microchip in it. The Windsor-Essex Humane Society said on social media that this cat named Julio went missing November of 2K17. Shelter said that Julio somehow managed to avoid getting caught despite being microchipped, and his owner conducting a wide-reaching search that even involved multiple public notices being posted. Julio turned up at the shelter during the weekend. It was scanned for the microchip, which revealed the owner's information. That happens so doggone often. If you haven't learned it by now, you should know it by now. Microchips are the thing. If you ever lose your dog or your cat or your mouse or whoever you have had as a, I think you can microchip a mouse, whoever you happen to have as a pet and you want to get back eventually, you can if it's microchipped. And now you know. Sue is considered old or obsolete French because I'm telling you what, Linda has been doing this. The big phrase these days is a deep dive. I'm kind of getting tired of people saying it, but they say it. They're going to do a deep dive into something, and in this case, Linda did, and found out that Sue is old and basically outdated now. but we still have it up in the United States. Here now, Johnny and Steph and guests.
On there, Pride and Joy, 729 here. That'd be great names for two dogs, wouldn't it? Pride and Joy.
I like it. I like it a lot.
If you had two dogs, you'd name one Pride, one Joy. I like that. Anyway,
Let's go down and see what they look like down there, huh?
Third Wednesday of the month, and that means our friends from Genesee County Animal Control, Danielle and Jody, are in the house with the baby.
Hello.
This 1-year-old baby you got here. How you doing, Danielle?
Very, very good. We brought a spur of sunshine today.
Yeah,
for
you
guys.
did.
About a week and a half ago, there was a story out that you guys were really overcrowded. How's it doing?
We just had an adoption event last week, and we did have a lot of amazing adopters come in, help kind of free us up a little bit before we get more dogs and amazing cats and kittens coming in soon.
Yeah, because this is what you call kitten season, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we prepare for it months in advance.
So why is it kitten season? What, do these cats get really crazy around Christmas time or what?
I think it's just a lot of the people that were trying to help feed, those stray cats or those cats maybe
Right.
inside. Now that it's getting warmer out, people are letting those cats outside more, or
And they're getting
those cats are
preggers.
venturing off. So we just got our first mom and litter of kittens last week. So I said it started last week.
So you look for people to bottle feed the kittens and
Yes.
to help you foster some of these, right?
Absolutely. And fostering, you don't have to necessarily bottle feed. You might just take a litter of kittens that need to be fattened up a little bit.
Now, Jody's got with her Daisy, who is about a year old, looks to be a little bit of a boxer, Staffordshire Terrier mix, maybe. I don't know. I can't tell. But just a beautiful markings, black and white, and just with the white socks, or white feet, really. One white sock and then the other 3 white feet.
She's so precious.
She is such a good-looking dog, and she is medium energy, so she's not jumping all over the place.
She's a great
For
size,
such a
too.
young dog.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she's got to fatten up a little bit, but she's going to get there.
Yes.
She's a damn good-looking dog.
She speaks.
She finally spoke.
She's like, you made me wait. I'm going to speak for you, Jody. I
She
love
does
it.
tricks, too.
All right, yeah, now she's crawling on the ground. Oh, this
Wow.
is, maybe she's had some training, looks like. But anyway, you got to go to Genesee County Animal Control's website to see all these dogs and cats. You can also get information there, and they can stop by anytime, right?
Anytime, no appointment anymore to meet our dogs or cats.
And they're looking to grow their foster team in preparation for this kitten season. If you're interested in fostering cats and kittens as well as bottle feeding, then come see them Saturday, April 12th at noon. They're going to have a little clinic on this, right?
Yes, we'll do a little bit of a fun training, teach you all about what we do at Genesee County Animal Control, and literally appreciate and accept any help that we can get.
And you got to be 18 or older and a Genesee County resident, correct?
Correct.
All right, and you got to be a lot like Jody. Got to be the
Yes, please.
greatest volunteer. If you're watching us on our Facebook video page, you can kind of see here at Jody's feet this dog, which is now totally immersed in getting treats. But you will see really, this is a dog for a family right here.
Absolutely.
This is a family dog. Oh, and just so sweet. Just a really nice, very friendly dog, and not crazy.
Very dog friendly too. She met one of our dogs you might have seen online. His name's General, a big Malamute Husky Shepherd mix.
Right.
Probably 3 times her size. She sat and just was so gentle with him. I'm thinking, this is a dog way bigger than you, and she was actually vibing off of his energy, and it was so
Nice.
awesome. So she's
Nice.
very dog friendly.
Yeah, she seems extreme. Like she might have even had a little bit of training, possibly, because she's doing
Yeah.
some weird things over here.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. All right, so how many dogs do you have right now?
We're about 85 dogs right now.
Okay, that's
we
good.
do have some in foster, just because those puppies are starting to come in too. So anybody that's a little bit smaller, a little bit older, or puppy age or kitten age, we do try to get them immediately out of the shelter.
All right.
We did have our first case of parvo about 2 weeks ago. Thankfully, it was caught very quickly, and we were able to still function and operate.
Sure.
But that makes us always nervous this time of year. So please vaccinate your animals. Parvo season 2.
And you guys do such a great job of keeping those animals healthy over there. I don't know how you do it with the numbers that you have coming and going all the time, but you do such a terrific job.
Thank you.
Folks, you can check them out over there. Like she said, there's no appointment necessary. What are the fees now?
Right now, we're doing the $20 cat adoption fees and $50 dog adoption fees.
All right.
And that includes that $10 license if you live in our county.
There you go.
But they're fixed, vaccinated, and microchipped.
Which is really a big advantage.
Huge.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, the Genesee County Animal Control website is where you want to go to see a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely.
To foster, they just come in and volunteer. How's that work?
They can come in and inquire about fostering. We do have the application online right on our website, www.geneseecountymi.gov. You can get a link right there, and our coordinators reach out to you. Or same thing with volunteering.
Beautiful, man. Wow,
Jody will train you.
I would like to take that dog home, but I already have too many.
I do too, but can you take a minute to tell me about Herbert?
Herbert is a senior shepherd. He's about 9 years old. He came in neutered.
Oh,
When you
really?
have a dog that comes in fixed,
He's
you're like,
been taken care
where
of.
is his owner?
Yeah.
And he is now made at the adoption floor. Seniors do not belong in the shelter. He's very friendly, loves being around people. So we're hoping that actually this week is his prepay week. Yes.
Yeah. How is he with
deserves
other
it.
dogs?
Very sweet, very gentle.
Oh.
Sorry.
So tell me what the situation is. Say we have dogs at home that need to be spayed or something. Is there a program in Genesee County for that?
There is low-cost options, so a lot of people do try to go to All About Animals in Flint. They're incredible. They are very high traffic, so the appointments are booked out just a little bit. But what we tell a lot of people when they come in and inquire is call around, have options, because there's so many vet offices in Genesee County and quite a few that are still taking new clientele. So definitely reach out and get those options. You know, our shelter doesn't personally have a spay-neuter clinic,
Right.
but again, you know, we do help out yearly with those vaccines and making sure everyone's up to date.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Tractor Supply in the area. They do local workshops on weekends.
Correct.
And they do offer services. I don't know how they are on neutering or spaying. That might be a little bit too much for
Right.
Tractor Supply, but they have been a good resource for vaccinations and stuff.
Absolutely.
We got
Low
you.
cost too.
Yes.
I got a couple of crazy females in my house. I got, and those are just the humans. But I.
He'll be here all week, folks.
No, I do have a couple of lady dogs that I need to get taken care of.
Absolutely.
All right. It is.
But somebody needs to come get Daisy.
Yeah.
She's too special to pass up.
She really is.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dog and really listens well, which is crazy for a 1-year-old, which is really kind of cool, though, too. All right.
Absolutely.
The Genesee County Animal Control folks, they really do a great job over there. They've got a lot of selection, and it's very easy. And if you feel like you've got other animals in the home that you think need to check out,
Yep.
whatever dog or cat you're thinking of adopting, then take them with you, correct?
Absolutely. You can take them. We'll do a meet and greet outside. Not required for some of our dogs, like Daisy wouldn't require it, but we
Right.
always recommend it.
Yeah, because some of the dogs, they get a little freaked out by other dogs.
Absolutely.
This dog would love other dogs, I can tell.
She's going to go in any car that you open the door for.
You
okay?
betcha. Yeah, good luck teaching her stranger danger.
Now she's looking at me with one eye. I don't
You're
have
the
any
only one
trouble.
you haven't fed her yet.
That's the point.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I will get a piece of something here. Here we go. All right, now I just did the Daisy.
There you go.
Now my hand is completely covered with spit. All right, it's 7:30.
Which is a wonderful thing.
It's 7:37. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Bear Soup Deli, Bear Growl Editions, take one.
Well, that's always fun to see when you have an adoptable dog in the studio, and we can hopefully get that dog adopted out here before the day is over. Oftentimes that is what happens when you get a chance to. That's the advantage now of having social media where you can actually see these dogs on live streams. Years ago when I used to have the morning show that I was hosting, and we had people from the Genesee County Humane Society in on a Monday morning every single week basis. It was cool to talk about them, but you could only talk about them because at that time it was before the days of live streaming, so we didn't get a chance to, being radio at that time, minus video, we didn't get a chance to show the animal. The best you could do was describe what they were, what they looked like, how old they were, and how well they took treats, because for me, they used to take them a lot. But there's something that can be said for having the opportunity to see them, such as you did with this young lady that they had in the studio just now. Kind of cool. So hopefully we're able to get that one adopted out soon. We're going to get to the traffic here in a second. And then I want to relay the story to you, which, if you are one with a queasy stomach, you may want to bow out for about 5 minutes and then come back again when I'm done talking about it. Maybe somebody will show up here in the middle when I'm talking about it that didn't have that warning, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, best I can do, about what happened in Australia involving a dog. And how, I don't know, maybe they don't pay well in Australia. Maybe you should check with Mel on that one, whether or not they pay well, because this seems to be an issue over there. Yeah, it's time for traffic. Time for traffic. It's been a kind of an interesting morning if you're driving through Flint right now. On southbound I-75, we had a multi-vehicle crash, which is still in the cleanup stages. I guess for a few minutes it looked like almost one of those NASCAR crashes that you might see if you ever watch a NASCAR race and they have those 6-7 vehicle pileups on the track. That's kind of what we were dealing with this. And then tomorrow, of course, we will be in the Hal Hole Saloon. And Rob Suka will be there sleeping in his tent overnight, waiting for the doors to open for that on Instagram. We'll be in the Hal Hole Saloon where everybody knows your name, and we will take your drink orders and be able to have you pour out your troubles to your friendly neighborhood barkeep and your Hellraiser friends. That's right, Royal Rachel. Get set for your drink order, because tomorrow on Instagram, we'll be in the Hal Hole Saloon, and we'll be serving up, well, fireballs for one, because Rob Suka orders it every time he comes in. He's got this real affinity for fireballs. Could we move things up to today? Oh, you need something today to get you through? See, we got a chance to have. You guys are going to have an animal in the studio today with you, right? Because you guys are lucky. You get to do it every week. Royal Rachel's got a dog or a cat or somebody in the studio with her every week. That's been a tradition for a while, ever since I was down there with them. In fact, it started while I was there. And it's fun. They call it Wet Nose Wednesday. That was always fun. Pup from Saginaw County, Jacko's former home. Although they're in a much nicer and more spacious quarters now than they were when he was almost 2 years ago to the day. We're going to be celebrating Jacko's birthday next week. In fact, it'll be a week from today, on the 29th. 1 week from today, the 29th, will be, a week from, wait a minute. Today's then, it's a Saturday, I guess it's a week from Saturday it's going to be. Will be his birthday, basically. Still working this crash that has messed things up on southbound 75 earlier over by the Miller Road exit and I-69 interchange. We had a multi-vehicle crash, and that is still a hindrance for those who are looking for smooth traffic flow, trying to get somewhere today. A couple of surface street problems we're looking at, too. We got a crash in Burton on Belsey Road north of Lapeer, and a serious crash that involved injury in Richfield Township. It's Irish Road at Potter, the northeast corner of that intersection. If you spot other crashes or unusual slowdowns, let us know at 810-230-WRSR, won't you? That is 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
On November 24th of 1976 at Winterland in San Francisco. In 1978, the movie The Last Waltz came out about that last concert. And incidentally, November 24th was the same day that Eric Clapton played Cream's farewell concert 1 year later in 1968. And Clapton would say later that it was partially because of their music that Clapton decided to leave Cream. He liked their sound better. Let's get into it. It's the band with Up on Cripple Creek on 103.9 The Fox.
Yes, indeed. It's Steph's Fox Flashback. All right. I think I'll wait. I'm going to wait until they're done with that, because then when we come back from the song, Steph will have her trivia question. I want to see if you know the answer to whatever it is. And then after that, I want to tell you about this item out of Australia, which I'm going to warn you again is one of those listener advisories I'm going to post for you, and that is if you get an upset tummy a little bit easy at certain thoughts of things, you might want to take 5 minutes away from me and then come back again before we're done with that. Because it's that kind of story out of Australia involving a dog. But it is, again, an odd one, very odd one. Yeah, Jacko is, because we have no idea, and Rachel is fully aware of this, we have no idea what Jacko's background is because of the fact that he was picked up off of the tough streets of Saginaw, Michigan. We do know that he can handle himself, because in order to be able to handle yourself on the streets of Saginaw, Michigan, you need to be as tough as Jacko is. And so 2 years later, here we are. March 29th, 2 years ago, he came here. Since we don't know his actual birthday, that is what we celebrate as his birthday. So he will at least officially be 2 years old on that day. We see that Ohio Kim will not be here on Thursday, tomorrow. So you are going to miss out on the opportunity to hang with us in the Hal Hole Saloon. That's too bad. We don't do home delivery of the drinks, though, unfortunately. We can't do that. You have to actually be here in order to be able to enjoy the drinks that we have. And that includes coffee and water, because you know what? Most of the people who show up, depending upon the day they're having, will, because it's early in the morning here in the Eastern time zone, are usually ordering coffee, and some people are health conscious. They'll go with a health drink or a water or something like that. But then you got people like Rob Suka and others who are having a day, and they want something with a little kick to it. And so we get that. And so we order that, we get that to you. He's a big old cuddly dog, that Jack O'Lantern. Sween Dog is a fan, although he's not really a big dog. He's really, in fact, he uses that to his advantage. He's a small but very mighty dog. He will absolutely flip out a bigger dog, as his buddy next door has seen this Rottweiler that's next door that's twice his size, and Jacko's already had a history with. And they just constantly bark at each other, even if one of them is in the house. And this doesn't go for one or the other. Both of them do. If Jacko walks by when we're out walking around by, I like to call him Junior's house, Junior will bark at him because Junior knows he's outside. And so Jacko will just growl and bark back. I would prefer he not, but he does it. And then if Junior occasionally walks by the house here, Jacko, if he sees him in the window, he will really go at him. Brutal. Those two love each other. Those two are buddies. They're really disappointed when they don't get a chance to really rip on each other. How long we had Jacko? It'll be 2 years next Saturday, the 29th of March. 29th of March, it'll be 2 years exactly. He is muscular, and that's kind of why we think that he's probably part pit bull. He's certainly not a purebred Jack Russell, but he has a lot of the Jack Russell energy and mouthiness. But he's got the muscles and the kind of attitude, the tough attitude that comes with a pit. And so there you have your mixture with him. Yes, asserting their dominance for sure. He wants to be, not just in the neighborhood, he wants to be the king of the region, maybe even of the country, maybe into the world.
There goes the band with Up on Cripple Creek from their 1969 album, their second studio album, named The Band. I came late to the party for the band.
I think I did too.
And I didn't realize how influential they were for other rock artists.
They really were. Everybody followed them.
I mean, Eric Clapton left Cream to pursue that kind of sound.
Yep.
So crazy cool. As Johnny alluded to earlier in the show, did you like that word? Alluded to?
Alluded.
Almost smart. Almost sounds smart, don't I? All right, here we go. The phone number that you will need, 810-230-9777. As always, I invite you to send requests. It could be a birthday, an anniversary, maybe.
You want a Jack and Coke double the Jack when we get to the Hal Hole Saloon tomorrow? Boy, are you getting ready. That's Boss Lady. She getting primed.
We've got gift certificates, good towards lunch or dinner at Jester's. Great food there always. We've got a pair of tickets, one last pair, to to see Ted Nugent celebrating the 50th anniversary of Stranglehold at the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater on August 31st. We've got Win 'em before you can buy 'em tickets for Foreigner, Loverboy, and Night Ranger at Soaring Eagle on July 26th. And we have pairs of tickets to see Alice Cooper at the Dow Event Center on May 10th. Here is your question. What member of the band inspired Elton John's Leave On? And if anybody has to Google search this, shame on you.
Really? No kidding. All right.
And if anybody has to go
All right, turn the radio down.
There you go.
Turn the radio down.
It's down. Leave on helm.
Yes, you are absolutely
How hard was
correct.
that? I love it.
Who's on our phone this morning?
It's Tony again, getting the easy ones.
All right.
Tony, that's no problem, man. You're a fast dialer. You got fast fingers.
Tony, there's no shame in being a bottom feeder here, all right?
It's the highlight of my morning.
Oh,
You know
cool.
I'm a bottom feeder.
Tony, where do you live?
I live in Holt, Michigan.
All right. And what are you doing this morning?
I drive parts to Flint every day, and you guys help. You save me 20 minutes a day with the highway.
Nice. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Come from Lansing every day and deliver parts in Flint.
All right, good deal. Tony, did you hear your choices of
I'll
prizes
take
here?
the foreigner ticket.
All right, those foreigner tickets are yours, Tony. You hang on tight. We'll get some info off the air. But who just hooked you up with... hang on, we're not done yet. Tell us who hooked you up with those tickets for Foreigner, Loverboy, and Night Ranger at Soaring Eagle.
Seth Barber, Johnny Burke, and 103.9 to 5.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is. This is what, so if you guys, again, one more time, fair warning regarding what I'm about to talk to you about right now, and this story coming out of Australia right now. If this is the kind of thing that maybe makes your stomach do flip-flops that I'm going to talk about, I'll just give you the fair warning. About 5 minutes from now, come back because we got news coming up. But I'll let you, if you want to leave and not hear it, that's fine. If you want to stay, you're doing it at your own risk, okay? I just let you know that right now. This is what happened. There's this Australian woman, not Mel Mel, make that clear, not Mel Mel, who admitted, okay, Tina's going, so I'm going to wait until she's gone. Okay? Okay. This Australian woman admitted that she planned to sell on the black market 2 human toes that had been regurgitated by dogs at the animal shelter. 2 dogs at this animal shelter had eaten parts of their owner's body after he died of natural causes. They threw up human remains during February of last year while at the animal shelter in Victoria, Australia. And 48-year-old Joanna Kinman, who worked at that shelter, retrieved those toes from a waste bin, took them home, and put them in a jar of formaldehyde. She believes she could make as much as 400 Australian dollars, which is going to convert to about $253, by selling those toes. An anonymous tip alerted police to the plans of this Joanna Kinman. So last week, she pleaded guilty to offensive conduct involving human remains. She was given an 18-month non-custodial sentence, including 150 hours of community service. The magistrate in this case called this woman's actions astounding and entirely odd. Didn't know there was a market for that. But in Australia, apparently they did. And that's that. So get your friends back who left. We're going to reconvene everybody for a few more minutes here because we got news coming up. That was just one of the weirdest stories to ever come out of Australia. Mel may already know it. You don't think that's enough community service, Rob Suka, huh? Boss lady does not want her in her community in Alabama. The people at the Genesee County Animal Control do not work that way. They're nice. They bring in the dogs, sometimes cats. As you saw earlier, they were nice. They're constantly feeding the dog treats. That's the first one that I've seen just constantly that we've been bringing into the studio that have been, at this point, many of them have been kind of timid, kind of unsure of what's going on, unsure of the surroundings. But this one was confident enough to take a lot of treats. Looked like almost Jacko at work, because Jacko never gets enough of them.
It's Classic Rock, 103.9 The Fox. 5 things you need to know with Hal Maas next.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Coming up. Where do these crazies come from? Sweendog asks. It's a good question. Good question. We asked that question a little bit earlier about which do you prefer if you can only have one, your money or your health. This woman, obviously, money is a pretty important thing, it appears. Plus Sue. Must be the water in Australia. It may be. It may be. I wonder if that tastes the same. That's another thing. Next time we get one of our Australian friends, because we have several, and when they show up here, we can ask them things like, when you have water, is it bottled water all the time, or do you actually still have fountains that are safely able to let water flow and you can drink it right out of the tap or right out of the fountain or something like we really don't want to do here in the U.S. because it's still kind of... Why did they use human feet for dogs when they already have paws? Who used human feet for dogs? Linda does drink tap water. So you're able to get past that kind of metallic flavor that it has, huh? The woman. Eric, the toes were human. The dogs had eaten them from their owner, who had passed on of natural causes. And the dogs, with nothing left to eat, ended up with those as food at that time, and then brought them back up. Rob Suka says they go tap water in Finland. Okay.
Naked news for this week. Yeah, if you don't want to pay your bill, then just stay home. It also happens to be the best place to get drunk and naked at home, but people are doing it in businesses, apparently. There's a guy facing multiple charges, stripping down naked, refusing to pay his bill in Cumberland County. His name is James Gladwin. This was in Pennsylvania. It was Primanti Brothers. He apparently refused to pay a $51.92 bill at the store, and officers located him on the scene. He continued his refusal, began yelling obscenities, and then just decided to take his clothes off. I don't know what maybe he thinks he's invisible when he takes his clothes off. I don't know.
You can't see me.
And elsewhere in our naked news this morning, an Indianapolis man arrested after allegedly parading around naked, leading cops on a chase in the Bargersville community there apparently near Indianapolis anyway. He too was doing this smack dab in the middle of a winter storm, so shrinkage. Complete embarrassment to the state of Indiana, I'm sure. Like
any day that begins with a T, we're on Instagram, Royal Rachel.
Thought I'd mention that to you. And drivers in Dover, New Hampshire got
If the day begins with a T, we're on Instagram.
The guy with the right name, Sean Wiener,
Oh, shut up.
had started wandering around traffic on Route 16 there in Dover, New Hampshire, apparently. jurisdiction most drivers were expecting to see, but yeah, thank you very much for that. What gear are you in?
It's news time.
For all the real news. That, of course, he's totally naked. Here's Hal Maas.
You'll never know, will you? 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Fick Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Fick Landscape Supplies with 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at ficklandscapesupplies.com. Like us on Facebook. Now let's get thick and busy. Criminal charges ahead for 2 men who accused a Burton police officer of theft during a traffic stop last month. They are being charged now with false report of a felony. Body cam footage from the accused officer said to have shown no such theft taking place. Flint's Hasselbring Senior Center has a new name. Residents turning out yesterday to watch as the name was officially changed to the Mays Senior and Community Service Center, honoring the late First Ward Flint City Councilman Eric Mays. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts slapping down a comment from President Trump saying that impeaching federal judges is, quote, not an appropriate response to disagreeing with their rulings. That sharp rebuke coming after Trump had posted that federal judges who ordered flights deporting alleged Venezuelan gang members to turn around, quote, should be impeached. The administration ignored the order, claiming that it was issued after the flights had left American jurisdiction. NASA astronaut Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore back on Earth now after spending 9 months in space during a mission that was supposed to only have them up there for a week. Boeing Starliner issues kept pushing back that return. Red Wings lost to the Capitals 4-1 last night. Flint Firebirds lost to Guelph 2-1 at the Dort Financial Center. March Madness underway with the first 4 matchups. Last night, your winners were North Carolina and Alabama State. Tonight, you have Mount St. Mary's facing American University, Xavier playing Texas. Pistons will be in Miami tonight to take on the Heat, and down in Florida, the Tigers beat the Twins 6-5. And to cap this one off, no tickets matched all of the Mega Millions numbers drawn last night, so that's going to push the prize for Friday to $324 million. Tonight, the attention back on Powerball, where the jackpot up for grabs is $416 million. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Forecast calling for sunshine much of the day, mixed with periods of overcast before a little bit of rain could roll in early this evening. Temperatures around 69, perhaps touching 70 some spots today, with the winds out of the south at 9 to 15, gusting to 26 miles an hour. That rain expected to take hold in the area tonight. Temperatures sliding down quite a bit, settling in at around 38 overnight, all the winds pick up. And then as spring arrives tomorrow morning, rain is likely to accompany in the morning that turns into snow during the midday, while temperatures fall to around 33 degrees by early afternoon. Friday, a lot of sun and 52. Right now it is 58 in Flint and in Saginaw, 51.
By the way, the midday munchie you're listening for between 10 and 3 with Steve Driver on the Fox Workforce today to win is Renegade by Styx. When you hear it, call in, be the first caller, and get a King Arthur's Pasties and Bakery gift certificate from Steve Driver. The Fox Workforce at 103.9. The Fox.
Got a smile source for you today named Promise. Promise is a Yorkie. Yorkshire Terrier, lives in Burnham, Pennsylvania. This is Promise. I promise she will make you smile. If you are not smiling to start your day, you will now. Right there, huh? Absolutely. Here's our biker chick on Facebook, Lorianne. Good morning, Lorianne, asking, how can we get snow tomorrow for the first day of spring? Because we're getting spring today on the last day of winter. It's Michigan. It's a normal year. Sunshine and 69 or 70 degrees on the final day of winter. 30s and snow on the first day of spring. That's the way it works. That's the way we roll here in Michigan, and we'll continue to do it, although it's not going to be all that long. We're going to be able to, fortunately, not have to worry about too much more cold weather, according to at least what Mark Torregrossa is talking about. Our weather buddy is saying that any cold snap that we have that is going to arrive here in Michigan is going to be very short-lived. So tomorrow, this story is longer than you've been waiting for spring. We've been counting down the days since about 91 days. Yeah, it does make sense. Absolutely. This is Michigan. Anybody who's lived here for any length of time is aware that that's how things are going to go. We're going to have that crossover. There's a day or two where we have winter one day, spring the next, and then winter the next and spring the next. It just keeps going back and forth for a bit. But fortunately, the trend is now for the better weather. The buds are on the trees. We're starting to see the grass maybe get just a smidge greener. We're starting to see almost no snow around. I mentioned yesterday I was up in Birch Run, and there are a couple of very, very small piles of snow that used to be 10-foot mounds after they'd gotten plowed after the snow that we had. And that's it. Everything else, all the snow is gone, much to Jacko's happiness, because now he has grass everywhere that he can stop for his bathroom break. He was really struggling trying to find spots during about a 2 or 3 week stretch there where the snow was up. Every time he would walk around and the snow was up to his belly. He now is happy about the fact he doesn't have to wear that winter coat almost ever for the rest of the next few months. So we're good there. So anyway, thank you very much for your attendance and your attention and hanging out on a Wednesday morning and being able to see when we brought the little dog in from Genesee County Animal Control. That was a fun moment. And sorry we gave you the kind of gory story from the Australia people about what they do with dogs over there. But we're going to come back tomorrow morning in Instagram on the Hal Hole Saloon Day. It's a Thursday, and that means that we'll be in the place where everybody knows your name, and we learn your drink order, and Rob Suka will be here ordering up. And by the way, don't trip over him when he's coming out of his tent, because that's going to be out in front of the front door of the Hal Hole Saloon tomorrow morning, because he's always first in line. He can't wait. He wants nobody to steal or drink his fireballs. Say, here we go. Tomorrow morning, have yourself a great day today. Make it pleasant, peaceful, productive. Join us with the friends of yours, the Hal Raisers, here in the Hal Hole Saloon tomorrow morning. Okay.